All right, good morning, everyone. I would like to call to order this meeting of the Cumberland County Public Library Board of Trustees on this Thursday, April 15th, and we are meeting via GoToMeeting online. And for those of you that are following us on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. I would like to introduce our special guest today from the Friends of the Library, the East Regional Branch Representative, Marty Williams.
Good morning, Madam Chairman and everybody on the board. I'm pleased to be here with you this morning. And Mary Lee provided me with a couple of notes, always appreciative of her helping me. And so we now have 168 members, and our next Friends of the Library meeting will be held May the 4th, and Trustee Pamela Story is going to be our guest for that meeting. So we look forward to seeing her. And it looks like it's going to be a virtual meeting. I guess it'd be a go-to type meeting like this is. And hope that we won't have too many more of these, because it's much better and more congenial to meet in person. So I look forward to that day. And as far as any remarks I have, I reviewed the March 18, 2021 minutes of the Board of Trustees of that meeting, and the guest then was Greg Rich, and he had 3 points to make that I just want to say that I would echo them and hope that what he is saying here can come to pass, and that is that we're going to have a meeting the 4th of May, virtual meeting. That's the first point. The second point is that the board members have been checking on personal protective equipment for volunteers in the book room for our book sales and other occasions when we have the public and others in our facility there, the book room. And finally, he notes here that the next possible book sale will be August the 17th, and that's for members. And then the public is invited August the 21st and the 22nd of this year. So I guess whether or not that happens depends on the state of COVID-19 and edicts from on high, the governor's office and elsewhere, about whether or not we can have the public in there and members in there for a book. So with that, I'll say that concludes anything I have to say this morning, and thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Do you foresee the Friends of the Library, in case we do have the August book sale, collecting books again from the community?
Yes, I think that certainly we'll have to make an announcement about that before, obviously, the book sale, and so that we can restock all the shelves and get everything organized for a sale. And that's going to be a question that I have for our May the 4th meeting, which is coming up here in about 3 weeks, the May the 4th, because we're rapidly working through the month of April. So I hope that answers your question, and I guess communications will go out to in the newspaper and elsewhere to announce whether or not and when we're accepting book donations.
Okay, thank you, Marty. I appreciate that.
And, may I piggyback on that about the Friends sale? I just know we are also those who work in the room a lot would like to be able to get in that room as soon as is possible to prepare, because there's so much to do. And so even if it's something like, and I'm not sure where that permission comes from, even if it's that we could do like just 2 people in there at a time, and we'd work out a schedule of, because even right now to prepare for August, it's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah,
with
I could see where you couldn't even think about an August sale without getting in there now. You don't even know what's still there.
Exactly. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so if there's just somehow that even if it's just 2 of our volunteers at a time, and we can work out a schedule with them, and we won't bother anyone else. If there's, I don't know who that permission is supposed to come from and how that would go, but if there's a way that we could, the friends could get that, so we can get started on the piles and piles that are in there would be.
Yes, I'll contact Barbara Kaiser, see what her thoughts are, what she has to say. But it seems entirely reasonable that 2 or 3 or even 4 volunteers wearing gloves and masks and keeping social distancing and washing their hands and all that precautions that we're to take, particularly if some of us have had our vaccinations already, as I have, that would be another argument for allowing it. And,
Right.
and then just like the employees that are working in the library now, they're masked and following all the protocols. So I don't see why volunteers couldn't be there as well. And maybe we could even be provided an access code for the back door there that enters on the lower level. Just that way we could come in without being that visible to the public and be discreet. In other words, that it wouldn't seem like the library is playing favorites or something like that so much. How come I can't get in if somebody sees us going in the front door or something? I don't know. Maybe that really isn't that big a worry. But
Yeah.
but I'll contact Barbara.
Right. And so, Katina, who is it that, like, is that who is it that has that power of permission?
As it stands now, the county had stated when we first closed that we can't have volunteers in the building until we reopen.
Okay.
So that's where we are with that. And so I think that's where that permission still lies. But we can look and discuss it more between meetings, between this meeting and the Friends meeting. So we'll have a better frame of reference of where we want to go with that.
That would be great. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Marty, for your report. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you. You're welcome.
Good. I'd like to move to approve today's agenda. I'm going to do a roll call vote because we're online. Katrina?
I approve.
Thank you. Ann?
I approve.
Pam?
Approve.
Irene?
Joe.
Thank you. And Dennis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Can we get a second before we move on?
Oh, I'm sorry. Moving too fast. Could we have a second, please?
I'll second.
I started to say my first aye would be a second, but yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you guys for that. See, I didn't have my coffee, so. I'd like to move to approve the March 18th, 2021 meeting minutes.
Second.
Oh, second.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay. Any
Lots of
discussion, any discussion, any corrections on the meeting minutes? Okay, roll call vote. Katrina?
Aye.
Thank you. Ann?
Aye.
Thank you. Ann?
Aye.
Irene?
Aye.
And Dennis?
Aye.
Thank you very much for that. Next, we'll move on to the Interim Library Director's Report. Jones?
Good morning, everyone, again.
Morning.
The first order of business for me is to welcome our newest Youth Services Division Manager, Carla Brooks. And I'm going to ask her to tell us a little bit about herself, and then we'll go from there. Carla?
Good morning. Thank you. I have 25 years experience as a librarian, in school libraries, Army libraries, and public libraries. Obviously an Army wife, so we've moved around a lot. Lately, I've come from the school system. Before I came here last February, I was with the school system for 16 years. And when our kids graduated from high school, I said to my husband, I think I'm ready for a change. And it just so happened that the services manager position at East was open. So it was a perfect way to start off with the public library, and I had about a month being able to work with patrons before we close. But I just feel like maybe in this position, I can really work with all sorts of children in Cumberland County, and hopefully just make the youth services department even stronger. Let's see, been married to my husband for 28 years. He's retired Army. He now works for the Department of Defense. We have 20-year-old triplets, 2 sons and a daughter. One of my sons just went to basic training on Monday, and due to his schooling last year, he's starting out as an E3, so I'm very proud of that. Our other son and daughter go to UNC Charlotte, majoring in, son in architecture, daughter in kinesiology, and daughter also runs cross country and track for the UNC Charlotte team. So look forward to actually being able to go and see her run in person again.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to see you out at East Regional. Pre-COVID, I did a lot of volunteering out there with the Chillax group.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yes.
I knew your name was familiar.
Every Tuesday, I would see my Chillax kids.
Yes, but now I'm down at headquarters.
Oh, well, okay, Katina.
Okay,
Thank you.
so I do have a report for you all this morning. And I am going to see if I can share my screen with you. Can you all see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right. All right, so the report for April. So the very first thing to say is the last official day for the virtual learning centers was April the 1st. So now we have switched over to getting ready for reopening. Some of the outreach by the numbers, we have still been sharing our community resources for those in need brochure. We've also still been sharing the We're Here For You half sheets, and we've also been delivering magazines to those that have requested them. Our expectation is to continue delivering the We're Here For You half sheets until we reopen next month. Service by the numbers, we did 4,761 transactions for curbside service for the month of March. And we had 66 live chat virtual reference questions that we answered. So we are still busy. Our virtual programming by the numbers as well. We had craft programs virtually, and we had 798 reaches. Our preschool story time, we had 1,003 reaches. Our school age programming, we had 1,013 reaches. And then our teen stream, which is our teen programming, we had 974 reaches. Last month was also our storytelling festival. And normally in pre-COVID, we would always be able to have different programs at the different locations with storytellers, puppetry, all sorts of things would be happening. But this year we had to take it virtual. And we had Hobie Ford was our storyteller this time. And we had over 500 reaches for that. And he did 2 different stories. And I am sharing with you one of the images from one of the stories that he did tell. And I was hearing positive things about that as well, so that was excellent. Our customers, they missed us, and so North Regional staff received a very nice thank you, complete with tulips, a thank you card, and thank you cards written by the children from the family as well. So that was awesome. And then I was in a meeting not too long ago, and North Regional staff received another shout out then too. So North Regional has been doing great things when it comes down to curbside service. We are looking at reopening next month. We're looking at it being appointment-based. We're looking at having computers available, and we are going to still make sure that we are following all of the social distancing guidelines that have been established. So that is coming. One of the things that I also wanted to share with you was an update about the Transcription Project that is going to be coming as well. And that is going to be May and June. That is a countywide initiative. We have people from Fayetteville State involved. We have representatives from FTCC, as well as Methodist University. We also have high school teachers involved, and we have some community members that are involved in this as well. Of course, Michelle Gross, even though she is branch manager at Spring Lake, she was also former local and state department head here. And so she has been gracious enough to take the lead on this project as well. So we have gotten those dates planned. We are looking forward to having those interactions, and we're going to have more information coming out about that sometime late this month to the top of next month. So that is coming, so please stay tuned. There is going to be a call for assistance in terms of transcribing, and it would be great if some or all could volunteer with that. We are looking forward to that. And I do believe that is my report for today. What questions do you all have for me?
Question, Katina, if you don't mind. Since the library is getting ready to reopen, will there be some sort of in the Army, we used to call it after action review, where we would do exercises and then we would determine what went well and what we need to improve on. Will there be something like that specific to the library? Because I'm pretty sure the county is going to do one, but will there be one specific to the library?
It is my personal goal for us to do one. So then that way we can capture as much information as we can, so that if, heaven forbid, we have another public health crisis, we will know what it is that we need to do differently. We will also be able to know what worked well. So that is something that I will be wanting to pull the division managers and branch managers together after we have reopened to start that conversation.
Great idea, Katina. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So with the appointments, how long are the appointments when people come into the library?
We are looking at having 45-minute appointments, and we selected 45-minute appointments. So then that way we would have 15 minutes to wipe down any high touch areas between sessions. And we are looking at each location having a set amount of people in per time slot, per time period. That we can look at and make sure that we are obeying social distancing guidelines as much as possible.
Katina, oh, excuse me, Belinda, I hope I'm not out of line, but when I first came on board, there was an acronym that I did not understand, and Katina explained it to me. So I wanted to just share that I have found copies of this document that has been, they have been invaluable to many of our families in transition that have just relocated to Cumberland County schools. So I just wanted to give a shout out. This is really a great resource. And thank you. I know what it is now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I just wanted to say congratulations on the library and being part of this Smithsonian Transcription Project. I actually got introduced to this Smithsonian transcription through a student last year who is doing it as a way to for extracurricular work during COVID, because so many things have been closed off to students. And some of the work that you can do through this is absolutely amazing. So I'm so looking forward to doing this and being a part of the project, and definitely urge everyone else to check it out because it's incredible.
Yes, I would say I was very excited to hear about that also. That's just such an opportunity for our community, and that's wonderful. I'm excited about that very much.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, we don't have any old business. Is there any new business?
Before moving on, if I may interrupt, Katina has one more report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We combined the two reports together.
I missed that.
And of course, I forgot. So the other report you all should have received via email. And it is the public library comparison. And I went about this a little bit differently this year because, well, we've sort of kind of been closed since March of 2020. So all of our numbers are going to be a lot lower. So I figured it would be a lot easier and a lot, it'd be a lot easier to share with you all the per capita information and how we compare to our peers within the state, and then also share with you a copy of the data that was submitted for the public library statistical report as well. Did you all did receive that via email? Yes. Okay. A couple of the things that I wanted to highlight, and I'm gonna see if I can share my screen again. If I can get the right thing up here. Yes, I can. There we go. So one of the things I wanted to share with you was looking at the library visits per capita. I know in the past, we have had a little over 1 million users to come through our doors. Well, with us being closed for so long, that number this year for fiscal year 20 dropped down to a little over 680,000 visitors. But when you're looking at it, in terms of library visits per capita, we still did pretty good. That basically equals out to a little over 2 visits per member of our community. So that's still okay, all things considered, considering that we were on lockdown. The other thing that I wanted to highlight for you is that when you're scrolling down and you're looking at our collection use per capita, our digital collection, we had approximately 2.81 uses per county resident. But what that translates out to in actual numbers is we have 439,115 uses for our digital collections, ebooks, audio, databases, all of that. That is really good for us. But like I said, it was a little low because of the pandemic. I will not keep harping on that, but I did want to highlight that out for you. we still had a great checkout for our children's collection. We had over 423,000 items checked out for our children. So that was good as well. I know that you all have the information. Were there any questions about the data that you all wanted to talk about today?
I'm good. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm done.
Okay, thank you so much. So we, moving on, we don't have any old business. Is there any new business? I don't have any new business. Anyone else have any new business?
I just
Okay.
had one question, and I don't know if Marty is still with us. But I do know in part of the agenda and handouts, they talked about PPP loan. And I didn't know if the Friends of the Library had, either in the first go round or the second one that has just been introduced, tried to apply for any PPP loan assistance as a nonprofit.
I'm not aware of any efforts along those lines. However, I could contact our president and see if she can tell me something about that. Then I could inform you. But I would probably say we haven't made any loan applications.
Right. There could be a possibility that, you know, the lost revenues from book sales might be something would be for consideration. And it could be a small loan. And in many instances, they're not having to be paid back when you apply for loan forgiveness. So I appreciate, Marty, if you follow up, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Other concerns, questions? Okay, with there being none, I call this meeting for adjournment. And we'll see you all next month.